Welcome back to another episode. Today I'm gonna review a very rare game and controller for the PlayStation 1, the Maestromusic, and let's go!
I wanna play video games. I wanna play them all day. Yeah, 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 yeah.
The game was released in the year 2000 by a company called Global A Entertainment. It's a rhythm music game and you're playing a conductor who has to conduct a classic orchestra, and you play two classical tunes like Beethoven, Vivaldi or Handel. Now the game was only released in Japan, so the only way you can play it is if you have a Japan system of the PlayStation 1, or like in my case you have a mod chip inside your PlayStation 1, so you can play all the import titles. But please don't ask me which mod chip I had or where did I get it, because when I bought my PlayStation 1 it was already inside, so I can't tell you anything about the mod chip. Before I continue with my review for the Maestromusic, a little history lesson about rhythm and music games. The very first rhythm and music game was released in the year 1986 for the Nintendo Entertainment System in Japan. It called Dance Aerobics, but it was later released also for the US and for Europe. And you had to play the game with a so-called power pad. The power pad was a mattress controller and it has two sides. Side A had 8 buttons and side B had 12 buttons, and basically you had to step on the right button at the right moment. And the game, there was a aerobic teacher, and it showed you when you had to push on, when you had to step on the right button. So this was the first aerobic game. The power pad was also used for sport games later on, like World Class Track, but this was the very first rhythm music game from that time. In 1997 there was a big hype in Japan about rhythm music games because Konami released one title after another. The first one was Beatmania, which was a kind of a DJ simulation because you had your own scratch pult. Then there was also Pop Music, and then there was Dance Dance Revolution and Guitar Freaks, which was the predecessor of Guitar Hero, for my opinion. And also there was Drum Mania and Keyboard Mania, and well, most of you might remember Dance Dance Revolution, and also in 2000 for the Dreamcast Sega released Samba de Amigos, the Marachas, and maybe some of you remember also that. But I don't think the hype was also in America. In Europe it wasn't. The only games I remember from that time were Dance Dance Revolution and the Samba de Amigos Marachas for the Dreamcast. Most of the games that I named now were also released for the home consoles. Most of them for the PlayStation 1, some of them for the Dreamcast or for WonderSwan, or also for the Game Boy. But yeah, that was the timeline from 1997 to 2000, and later on at 2004 I guess we all can remember SingStar and Guitar Hero or the Donkey Kong Bongos, or yeah, whatever. And yeah, that was a little history lesson about rhythm and music games. Okay, let's continue with the Maestromusic. I will show you now what's inside the box. Okay, well, first of all you have the original Maestromusic CD, and then you have the Maestromusic controller. It's in two pieces, you only have to screw them together, It looks like an antenna, but it's only for the looks. Now it looks a little bit more like a conductor's baton. It's a motion controller, and it captures the up and down movements, but not left or right. So you can't play it like this, like an original conductor. You only have to play it like this. And you also have to hold it steady and straight and not up or down. Then you have two buttons on the controller, A and B. The B button is to accept an option in the menu, and the A button is to cancel this option. Okay, that was the controller. A few months after the release of Maestromusic, they also released the Maestromusic Merry Christmas app. And you can't play this alone. You need the Maestromusic, the first title, because there's an option in the menu which calls disk change, and when you accept this option, then you can remove the original title and then you can put in the Merry Christmas app and you can play the Christmas songs. And in 2001 they released the Maestromusic 2 for the PlayStation 2, and you can also play the game with the conductor control from the PlayStation 1. You can also play the game with the original PlayStation controller, but it's not as funny as when you play it with the controller. Okay, now we'll show you a little bit of the gameplay, and yeah, let's go. Okay, first I will show you the freestyle mode so I can explain the whole screen for you. The cable of the controller is about 3 meters long, so this is very good. You have enough space to wave the controller around. Okay, as you can see, on the left side there are two scales. The first one is for the tempo of the orchestra and the second one is for the volume. Now, to play this game is that you only have, the faster you move the controller, the faster the orchestra plays, and the harder you wave it, the louder they play. And the goal of the game is, because you can't see it right now, but when you play the real game, there will be a red line, one line for each scale, and you have to stay on those lines to complete the level. And also above me will be a little fella who stands for the audience, and he show you the reaction of the audience. Okay, well, I'll show you now a little bit of the gameplay. Like I said, the faster you move the stick around, the faster the orchestra plays, and the harder you wave it, the louder the orchestra plays. Okay, but now let's play it for real.